Bava basra. Daf Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. We're starting from Lamed Gimel Amud Beis, 9 lines from the bottom. Ahu de Amar lechabrei. Zak the Gemara. Ahu de Amar lechabrei. Now he's going to continue with stories, whether a chazaka helps with one aid, or if he has two aidim, but only for 2 years. We're going to go through all these cases. Ahu de Amar lechabrei. There was this person who said to his friend, "My boy is b'hayara. What are you doing in this land?" Omar, he says, "What are you talking about? Minar zavnis v'achalte shnei chazaka. I bought it from you, and I was here for 3 years. I sichad sada da'acholet tlash shnei." He brought one aid, but the aid testified.
He didn't ask him for aids.
He has to prove that he was there 3 years, because the guy says it's my field. How did it become yours all of a sudden?
What are you doing to this field, right?
What are you doing in this field?
He
says it's my field. He says it's my field. So what are you doing? He says I ate it 3 years chazak, and he brings one aid that he was there for 3 years. Now the Mefarshim say on the bottom, the Rashbam really says on the bottom, mitzad the guf hakaka, the second gesa is not a shaila that you has to give back, because one aid for 3 years of chazaka is not good enough. It's not a chazaka. You need two aidim. Chazak is good, but I've made him. He has only one aid that he was there 3 years, so one aid is not good. So therefore, he has to return the guf hakaka. He's been a gay of us and given the shaila. Been a gay to the paytas. Does he have to return the paytas?
You have to pay for it.
Because to take out paytas from somebody, to take out money from somebody, you need two aidim. And here, there's only one aid that testified that he ate 3 years. So now, in order to take out the paytas, you're going to need two aidim. Anyway, Sava Rabbanan, Kameda Abai Lamema, Rabbanan had thought, the Talmidim who learned in front of Abaya thought to say, Hainu Naska de Rabbi Abba. This is mamish the din of Naska de Rabbi Abba.
What does it say?
So we're going to talk about the case of Naska de Rabbi Abba. What is that? So he says, Ahu Gabra, there was this person, the Chotaf Naska Mechavrei, that stole a piece of silver, a bar of silver from his friend. Also the Kamei de Rabbi Ami. So the one who was grabbed from, he came running to Rabbi Ami. He says, this guy grabbed my piece of silver. Obviously, he came in front of Rabbi Ami, and it says, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Abba Kamei. Rabbi Abi was sitting before Rabbi Ami. That means Rabbi Abba was a Talmud of Rabbi Ami. But he brings down on the bottom, others learn lehefech. We have a different one, it's just the opposite. But right now, so he came before Rabbi Ami, the one who who was grabbed from, and I see chat sada the michtav chatfa minei, and the guy who was grabbed from, he said, I have even the aid that person grabbed it away from me. Amalei, so the person says, good, I hear you have an aid, and you say,
prove that it was his?
huh?
You can't prove that it was his?
Kol masha the tachas yada shel adam shaleu. That's chazaka.
Yeah, but he says that he grabbed it from me, but I want proof.
So I was holding on to it. So it's not enough as an ayah. But if whatever I'm holding on to is mine, it's chazaka. Kol masha tachas yada.
The guy that grabbed.
The one who had it originally. The one who was grabbed from.
Yeah.
He had it originally, so he had the chazak, and he has an aid that it was grabbed from him.
Okay.
So he says, yeah, Amalei, he says, true. He tells the Nitvan in the Rabbi Yami, in Chatfi, I grabbed it. Aber b'didi Chatfi. So ich hab gehabt meines. I grabbed my own. He stole it from me.
Oh, the second guy.
The guy you grabbed says, yeah, I'm agreeing. Yeah, I didn't grab it, but I grabbed my own. Says the Gemara, how should the Dayanim paskin here? So the Rashba, huh?
The guy that grabbed it, does they have to bring aids? That's his?
The one that grabbed it? Oh, so 1 minute. So right now, there's three cases that Rashbam says, an alternate case that he doesn't mention here. Here the case is there was one aid, and he admitted. So the Rashbam says, if there was no aidim, we would have a clear psak. No aidim, the guy who grabbed it would be able to keep it. Why? Because he has a migra. He could say, I never grabbed it at all. And he would have been believed. So when he says I grabbed my own, he says, believe me, because if I was a lawyer, all I have to say, I never grabbed it. He would have been
Yeah,
believed.
but there's an aid against him.
No, 1 minute. I'm talking about if I'm giving you three alternatives.
Okay.
If there were Eidim, two Eidim, that testified that he grabbed it, it's a clear psak. He would have to give back the Naska. Two Eidim came and testified that he stole it. I'm only mentioning the Rashbam's three alternatives. A third alternative that the Rashbam says, this same case, there was one Eid that testified he grabbed it, but instead of him being Maida, he could deny with a shvur. He could say, I could swear I didn't grab it, and he would be potter.
Against the aid?
Against the Eid. Yeah, he has that right.
Because eight echad.
Eid echad
The
can
owner
be
is also saying that he grabbed money.
That's not true. That's they gave it up. So the Eid, so the din is you against Eid echad, you could swear against him, and it cancels out, and he wouldn't have to give it back. But here we have a problem. What's the problem? He
But he-
didn't.
but he agreed that
He
he
didn't.
grabbed it.
He didn't. He didn't deny it. He didn't make a shvur. I didn't grab it. It's not what he said. What did he say? Yeah, I did grab it. I grabbed my own. Oh, so the Gemara says, let's
What
understand.
was it doing in the other guy's hand?
What do you mean?
He said, I grabbed, it's sitting in his hand, and I grabbed because it's mine.
Right.
What is it doing there?
Well, because he said he stole it from
Listen,
me.
he stole it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
So the Gemara says, let's understand. How are we going to paskin here? Lishalim. Are we going to make him pay? He says, Leika Trei Sadeh. You can't make a person pay pay for something if you don't have to pay them. Why should you
What are
have
we talking about? What do you mean pay for what?
to give it back?
You mean to give it back?
To give it back, yeah. So he says
Return
that
it, you mean.
there's no two Eidim that testified that he grabbed it, and therefore he can't take it away
But
from
he
him.
could swear.
He can't swear. 1 second. Lifted it to pata him because he has a migo. He could have said,
He never stole it.
I never stole it. Ikechasada. There's an aid that says you did steal it.
Okay,
You can't say I didn't steal it. Lishtaba. Oh, so now that he says what happened, he's gonna swear that he
That's his.
that he no. If he's gonna swear
That's his.
against the aid to say that he didn't grab it. He
did.
admitted he grabbed it, right? So he says, "Ha'amad michtav chatva." He said, "I did grab it." What do you mean he's going to swear I didn't grab it? He says, "But finish, he did grab it."
Right, but he said he grabbed his.
And once he
Why
said,
can he continue saying, I grabbed my own? So,
That's what he said.
well, they
1
said you
minute,
grabbed it, so
but
I grabbed my own.
we'll get to that in a second. But he had the only way you could swear is to swear to deny, but you can't make a shua on something else that's not going against the words of the aid.
In other words, he's just,
The aid is saying you're swearing that I grabbed it. I guess I grabbed it, but I grabbed my own. That's not. You can't swear like that. When you swear against the aid, you have to swear against what the testimony of the aid was. The aid said you stole it, so you have to say I didn't steal it. But to say a whole not under my say I grabbed it, I grabbed my own, and I swear that has nothing to do with that. On his own testimony, it's not going because the Torah says by aid you have to swear against what the aid is saying. That's how it works. So, we keep in the Omer Chatva. And once he said he grabbed it, so Havalei Kegazlan, he's already a Gazlan, and he cannot swear anymore. So here, if you look on the bottom, not everybody holds you could say he's a Gazlan. He brings down that if you look in 6, he says over here that Ein lefarish loshen kipshuta dahaina shekein hoida shekotov marzikin lois legazlan. We can't consider him as a Gazlan. Upasulu mishum kach lechol hashvuos, and that's why he cannot even make a shvur when he says he admits he stole it. The only way we know that he stole it, because he admitted he grabbed it, right? Ulefi divrei atzmai, he says, loy hoisesu chatifes gazlanus. If the only way you know he stole it is because he said it, so finish up what he said. He said he didn't steal it. He said he grabbed his own. It wasn't Gazlanus. I grabbed my own.
But there was an Aedis that he grabbed.
Yeah, you're right. There was an 8 that he grabbed.
He grabbed his own.
But you're saying he's a Gazlan by him saying he admitted he got. You can't. You don't want to let him swear. So he says the reason why he can't swear because he admitted he stole it and he's a Gazlan. He cannot make a shvur. He's not a Gazlan. He's saying. How did he become a gazlan? Because he admitted he stole it, right? But finish his words. He said, I stole it, but I'm not a Rasha. I can still steal because I grabbed my own.
He doesn't say he stole it. I grabbed.
I grabbed, but he says I grabbed my own. So you can't make him a Rasha. A gazlan is not a Rasha. And even more so, he says, even if he were to testify about himself that he's a gazlan, he wouldn't be ein other mesim al atzmei Rasha. He can't. So you can't say, "Oh, he's a Rasha" because of his own words, and therefore he can't swear. He can't say that. And then he brings down weiter the aid again. Like I told you before, aid can only swear on. We'll get to that in a second. So the Shainim is madua loy nashbias achitiv al kach shahisa anaska shaloi. Let him take a swear that the silver piece that he grabbed was his. Even though it's this shvur is not being mevatel what the aid is saying, it's not. It's not. If he says he grabbed his own, that's the shvur. Mikoma came he toil lakach sheshuv yehi achit never legami b'ma shoyim shoyis hanas shaloi migu sheyachal haya loyim shaloi chat v'kal. He has a migu. Let him say the first time. Let me swear that I grabbed my own. And believe me that I with my shvur, because I could have sworn that I never stole it. I could have made a shvur. So what? I could have said such a shvur that would deny what the aid says, and I would have been potter. So why don't we say that type of a shvur?
So we say his shvur with a migu.
His shvur with a migu that he could have said a shvur against the aid. That's the kasha.
Well, you could have had a different shvur.
He could have said the other shvur against the aid, and he would have been potter. So okay. So he says that's not a good migu. Why? Because a migu means that you could have said something that would have been so much easier to say. Here, the migu wouldn't be easier to say by saying, I could have. What does he swear? I'm swearing what I grabbed was mine. With a migu, I could have said a shvur that I never grabbed it. But that's a harder shvur for him to say because it's going against the aid. So that's not making it. That's not a more comfortable shvur. That's a harder shvur. A migu is supposed to be a more comfortable, easier taina. That's not. That's why we don't say that migu. That's what he brings down. Okay, so he says. So he can't swear, right? So he can't swear. He doesn't have a migu. So Amaluhud Rabbi Haba. But bepel mamish he's supposed to swear.
So
the only way he can't swear. Have a late to Gazlan, and he can't swear. So if he can't swear, Amaluhud Rabbi Haba said, it falls under the rule mechuyev shvur she'eini yochel l'shava. He falls under the category somebody who's supposed to swear, but he cannot swear. And the halacha is anybody that's mechuyev in the shvur that he's unable to swear, he has to pay. So he has. So just like by the naska, he has to give it back, right? Because he couldn't swear. He admitted that he grabbed it. So he's now a gazlan, let's say, or even if not a gazlan, if he admitted he cannot swear, he has to swear against what the aid is saying. Let's go according to what the only way to swear is you have to deny the aid, and he can't because he admitted he grabbed it. So if he agrees, so he can't swear, and anybody that's mechuyev to swear, but he can't swear because this is a case he can't swear. He has to pay. Says the Gemara, the same thing should be by the case where there was one aid that testified he ate 3 years. So he admitted he ate 3 years, but it's only one aid. So not only should he have to give back the karka, he should have to give back the payers, and he cannot swear against the aid he didn't eat because he admitted. He had the aid that he ate 3 years. So if so, we should say, what did we say
before?
No, we didn't know. We asked B'negayah to one aid that testified for 3 years. We didn't know if he should have to pay for those 3 years or not, for the payers of those 3 years. Abaya said back, me, dummy. Could we then compare this case to the case of Naska de Rabbi Abba? There, by the case of the Naska, by the silver piece, this aid is coming to testify against it, to make it bad for the guy who grabbed it.
He's a grabber.
That he's a grabber. And not only that, ki asi achrina b'hadei, if he would have had a second aid with him, mafkina lemonade, we would take away the piece of silver from him if he had a second aid. So we know we have a drasha that the din is the only time that you could be mechayiv somebody a shvua is if two aidim would testify, and because of the two aidim you would have to pay. So if one aid testifies, you have to swear.
Oh, the two?
If he would have, the only time that you swear against the aid echad is only if there would have been two aidim, he would have had to pay. So now, if there's only one aid, then he would swear. But if the two aidim wouldn't make him pay, then the one aid you wouldn't be chayiv ashur. That's how he brings it down. Mashmais Hadrash, he says, "She'eid echad b'chayiv ashur, she'bechol makom shesh." When do we say a aid is chayiv ashur? In every place, sheshnei eidim hoyim mechayivim es ha'adam mamein. When could you be mechayiv one aid ashur? Only if two aidim would have came. If it would have been two aidim, they would have been mechayiv in mamein. So then, aid echad is mechayiv ashur. But ve'ilu b'makim, one second, let me. They would have been mechayiv. One second, you're right. Ve'ilu b'makim sheshnei eidim loy hoyim mechayivim noisel shalim. But what's if it would have been a case where if two eidim would have came and they wouldn't be mechayivim to pay? So aid echad mechayiv shvua. Then one aid cannot be mechayivim shvua. But over here by Naska, the Rabbi Abba, if two eidim came, that he grabbed it, he would have to pay the Naska. Now there's only one aid, so he's mechayiv shvua. Hacha, but over here by our case with the aid testified for 3 years. It's coming to help out the person who's sitting in the karka now. Ki asachrina, if another aid would have came and testified that he was there for 3 years, mukmina labiyadei, we would have said it belongs to him. Oh, so here two aidim would not be mechayv faket. If there would have been two aidim by the chazaka, he would have kept the karka. So therefore, if it's only one aid, you can't be mechayv mashvua. Only time that one aid can be mechayiv ashur if the two aidim would make him chayiv to pay. If there were two aidim, but here it comes out if there were two aidim, he wouldn't be chayiv to pay.
In other words, here the shua he comes to pata him for something.
Here the aid is coming to help him that he should be able to keep it. And if he would have had two aidim, he would have kept it. So it's not being mechayiv. It's the opposite. So if now there's one aid, it can be mechayiv mashvur. The only time one aid can be mechayiv a person. So he's saying you can't compare it. So we don't know yet.
Oh, we don't know what.
No.
If he only has
So
one
it's
aid.
one aid. So now he's going to say if you want, damya. Only if you want to compare it, you have to compare it to Had Rabbi Abba, to the case, this case of Rabbi Abba. That there was one aid that testified only for 2 years. Paid that he was there 2 years, paid and he ate the payers for 2 years. Now in such a case, if there was never chazaka. So if there were two aidim that testified he was there only 2 years and 8 payers, then he would have to pay. So now if there was one aid, if there's one aid, then he would, be chayv ashvua. So he
Why
says,
is he going to swear then what?
what do you mean he has to swear that he never ate?
The payers?
Or he never ate the payers. So he says like this. Over here, he would have been able to by the over
No, we're talking about he was there in the field
For 2 years.
for 2 years, right?
So he's minded that he ate.
So
That
it's such
he
a
ate.
so he's not the aid is not being masayeya to the machzik. So this, if there would have been two aidim, he would have had to pay for the payers. So now, if there would have been one aid, it would be chayv
So if a
ashvur.
person has two aids, he said, "Oh, don't come." He tells one of the guy, "Don't
Sharei
come."
lo hoye noisa made kamoya hoye bezn meitzin al piyam as hapes ma machzik.
But then it would be right.
V'lachem b'yoysi levad im chayev hu es ha-machzik li'shava la'khishe v'lem shaloi achal. Right? He would have to swear that he against
Why can't
aid.
you swear? Let him say he has to pay. Don't say the bidders. You have to pay. If you only have one aid that you ate there for 2 years, so it's going to be bad.
So he has to
Pay.
swear.
What's
He
it
has to swear.
Then what?
two Edom cannot take out money from somebody. Two Edom could, but if it would only be one aid testifying aid there for 2 years, then he would have to.
May say that he has a chazaka, but if he only has one aid and he only ate 2 years, he has nothing here.
Right, so that's
what.
what. So mitzad the gufra karka, he has to give back. Mitzad the peiros, you cannot take out money unless you have to aid him. But you would make him swear. He would have to swear. So he says.
But he's made that he ate 2 years.
So that's why he's mishalim. Mishalim. That's why he has to pay. Okay. Sagt die Gemara, who arba? There was this boat. The Hava Minsa Allah Beitrei. There were two people fighting over this boat. This person says it's my boat, and this person says it's my boat. Oh, very good. 1 second. Taste is this. So the Rashbam brings down the Shaila. L'cheirem Masechta Bava Metzia we learned. The Shnayim Oisim Metales. Ze neitel ad makom sheyodim agaz. Ze neitel ad makom sheyodim. So what's the difference?
He takes the front, if he takes the back of the boat.
Oh, they should split it. Each one takes to where he can get it to. They sell it and you divide the money. So the Gemara says, so there's a difference. What's the difference? The difference is that over here they're not machzik. They're not holding it in the water. None of them are holding on to it. So in such a case, we say kol da'alam gvar with tainus or with rayas. I mean, with rayas or with strength.
Who's stronger?
Who's stronger physically or with rayas? Both.
Put him on the belt.
He looks like a better arguer. Who argues better?
Okay, so says the Gemara, Asa Chad Menaya Lebeidina. One of the people came to Besdin. One of these two people who are fighting over the boat. The Aman, he says to the Dayanim, Tifsua, before we stop fighting on the boat, grab it. Grab the boat. You Besdin, hold on to it. Adamaisina Asad Edidihi. I says, till I bring my Edom that it's mine. So please hold on to it. The guy might be stronger than me, so I have Edom. It shouldn't be called on God. Wait till I bring it. So the Gemara says, the Gemara has the Shaila, Tafsinan or Eloi Tafsinan. Should Besdin grab it or not? What's the Shaila behind it? The Shaila behind it is that because once Besdin grabs it, so then there's not going to be called Alam Gvar. According to one day. So the problem is, maybe the weaker guy just wants to stiff the other person. He shouldn't be able to get the boat. So what does he do? He tells Besdin, hold it, and the Besdin will never give it till anybody brings ayahs. And Besdin will not release it. So like this, if Besdin wouldn't have got involved, he could have gotten the guy who really belongs to could have grabbed it. But there's another day that says, no, Besdin releases it, but when Besdin grabs it and you tell Besdin to hold on to it, Besdin waits till he brings the rayas. If he doesn't bring any rayas, we leave it out again for the people to.
Like you say, you use it one day and you could go.
No, so we give it. We put it back to the original state of Kol Da'alam Gvar. So that's what it's telling him. If Besdin will release it or not, once the date. They give him a date till when he can bring his Edis. Once the date is over, does Besdin release it or not? If Besdin releases it, then it's not a problem. Besdin holds it till he can bring her ayahs. They give him a certain date. If not, it gets released back to these two people to the beginning, and we say call out the ground. So it says the Gemara, Tafsina Leiloi Tafsina. Rav Huna Tafsinan. Rav Huna says we do grab the chayfetz, meaning. Rav Huna holds that Besdin could grab it. Obviously, why does Rav Huna say you could grab it? Because Rav Huna holds, like the Shita, that once he doesn't have any proof, we'll leave it back for the people to say, Kol Da'alam Gvar. The violent, no fighting. But later on, if he doesn't bring, we'll give it back to them that they should be able to fight. Rav Yehuda says, we don't
Get involved?
We cannot let them. The Besdin cannot get involved. Very simple. Why can't Besdin get involved? Because if Bezdin gets involved and Bezdin holds on to it, they'll never release it. So he's stiffing the other guy from being able to ever get the boat. Mitzat kol alam gvar. Ozal says the Gemara.
People are mean. People are. Is that
Yeah. Ozal.
Business people.
So the Baldin went.
No, they wasn't in business. They had owned the boat. They wanted
Says
to fight over a boat.
Ozal, the Baldin went.
They were millionaires fighting over
And he requested that the Bezdin should hold on to the Svina. V'loy ashkech sadi. And if they gave him the time limit to go search for Adam as proof that this boat belongs to him, and he didn't find any Adam. Amalahu. So he went back to Dayan. He says, "Of course, let it go out for us to have cold alam gvar." The cold alam gvar. Whoever is stronger with tightness or physically stronger, that's who should win. What happened is that he told the Bezdin, "Listen, you hold on to this boat because I have rayas." So we had a shaila: is Bezdin allowed to intervene or not? So we said the machlekes is totally like this: if Bezdin takes it, right, could they release it or not? So if we say Bezdin can release it, so Avuna says, obviously Avuna holds that Bezdin could release it after the deadline, and therefore Bezdin could intervene and grab it and wait for the date for him to bring the edus, and if he doesn't bring it, we release it back to these guys.
Who does the
So, but so that's what Avuna says. 1 second. Rabbi Yehuda says we don't grab it. Bezdin doesn't intervene. Very simple, because Bezdin doesn't release it. So he's stiffing the guy who it really belongs to, who would have won over Mitzat Kol Alam Gvar. Oh, so Ozal, the guy went, and where does it say? I'm saying it back. He went searching for Adam. He didn't find Adam. They said, so he told the Dayanim, "Afko, release it. Release the boat. Don't have a lien on it anymore. Take off your lien." He tells the Bezdin, "Take off the lien. That's it, and let us fight it out." Call the Alam Gvar. Mafkinan or loy mafkinan. So the Gemara is, could Bezdin release it or not? Rabbi Yehuda loy mafkinan. Rabbi Yehuda says Bezdin can't release it. That's why Rabbi Yehuda said before, Bezdin can intervene and hold on to the boat till he brings a raya, because if Bezdin intervenes, Bezdin won't be able to release it, and will stiff the guy who it really belongs to.
So let them fight it out, they're saying?
They said, l'chatchila, we're not going to, even though the guy is demanding for some time to bring proof, Bezdin doesn't intervene. We're ignoring it because Bezdin won't be able to release it later.
So what happens with
That's
the
Rabbi Yehuda's shita.
So what happens with the
Papa, 1 second. Papa mafkina. Papa says Bezdin releases it, and that's why Avuna said that Bezdin intervenes, because Avuna holds like Papa. Yeah, it goes to the original status, the original state, that it's like they have to fight it out of Kol Alam Gvar.
So if you hold it, a Bezdin doesn't release it, so therefore they don't hold it.
So Rabbi Yehuda says that Bezdin cannot release it, so Bezdin doesn't intervene.
So what do? They fight it out.
They fight it out right away, right from the beginning.
So they went to the Bezdin says, "Go fight it out."
Yes,
According to him.
right. The Hilchasa, the halacha is loy tafsinan, that we meaning Bezdin doesn't intervene. The heicha the tafas, but where Bezdin the evidence had intervened, loy mafkinan, we don't take it out. Bezdin doesn't release it.
So when they release it,
Bezdin is not supposed to intervene, but if Bezdin,
Because if they release it, then there's going
well, it's in the holes till somebody will bring proof. Holds on to the ship, yeah, or sells it and holds on to the money instead of maintaining it.
Is this the bar?
Huh?
Bezdin does not want to create a situation where they will force
Where-
the fight.
Bezdin doesn't want to create a situation that at the end one might not really get what belongs to him.
No, what's going to happen is
If Bezdin intervenes, then the real owner or the Mitzat Kol Alam Gvar won't even get a chance.
they don't want to be involved.
They don't want to be involved in it, right? But others say it's not connected. Teresa says they're not connected. The releasing of Bezdin intervening and the releasing of Bezdin. But Rashbam says they're connected. I learned like the Rashbam, that one is dependent on the other.
They could sell it and